Everything all right? Had all your photos and bits and bobs? And...
I'm going to do speeches first and get out of the way.
Yeah, I think so.
How do you know when you're turned on? Excuse the expression.
I don't. It's, when we'll...
No. Yeah. Ready? We're missing Sammy and Martin. Don't know where they are. He said just go ahead anyway.
There it is, Gin Palace, I
We're missing Sammy and Martin, but I don't know where they are.
I want as much heckling as I can, please. Oh, sorry. Oh, is it too early? Well, thank you very much. What a welcome. Thank you. I've all been round to you and spoke to you about the speech and my nervousness around it. But I was going to write a long speech, but thought I'd just tell you a little bit of a story about how we got to where we are today. Just over a year ago, I was down in Bridport collecting some furniture, and like I normally do. And it was on a Friday night, and I had a phone call from Foxer, sort of chit-chatting around and one thing and another, and eventually got round to saying, would I have any objections to if he asked Kay to marry him. Basically, I said, well, no, but had he really thought about it? And was he sure? Did he know what he was doing? Did he know what he was taking on, basically? I didn't really mean about marrying Kay, of course. I meant about taking on the mother-in-law. Sorry. She, of course, who must be obeyed at all times, approached on bended knee or with a sword and a shield. Then I thought, well, he's known her a long time. He'll probably survive. With a bit of luck. So I said, yes, well done, mate. I put down the phone, drove home, and of course I had the most wonderful secret to keep, didn't I? You know, it was just amazing. The next day I was sort of hanging around like a nasty smell, really, waiting for the phone to ring, which of course it did do eventually. And Sally answered the phone, and this was Kay on the other end saying that Fox had actually popped the question after a lot of prompting and coercing. And there was a ring and everything, you know, it's just going to be absolutely marvellous. And Sally looked at me and she said, you knew that, didn't you? And I said, well, yes, I did, actually. And I smiled, and thinking it was actually quite nice to know that I was the first to know rather than the last to know. The other little thing I want to say is that this goes back quite a long time, and probably Kay can't remember this at all, but me and Kay were sort of stood out on the pavement one day, and we were outside our house, and Foxer came down the street, walked up the path into the house, probably going in to see Scott about football or something or other. Anyway, about 10 minutes later, comes out the house, down the path, sort of goes past us and grunts, good morning, good afternoon, or whatever it was. And as he was just going out of earshot, Kay said to me, you know what, she said, I'm going to marry that man, and I'm going to have his babies. Yeah? And I said, well done. Brilliant. So, amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. So, stage one complete. Watch this space. Their story continues. Thank you very much. But I've yet to introduce you to Foxer. Of course, he was the mainstay of today. And I would just like to say he's a very upstanding bloke. I'm happy to be his father-in-law. We welcome him, and please put your hands together for Mr. Nicholas.
Well, I think a lot of you guys that know me know that I do quite a lot of public speaking in my kind of day-to-day job.
Is that right?
But when I've had text from a friend saying, no pressure, mate, no pressure, standing up in front of a group of friends and family as opposed to standing up in front of 200 or 300 strangers has a very different feel to it. So bear with me. So, firstly, on behalf of my, it says here my wife. So, on behalf of my wife and I, we'd like to thank you all for coming to share our special day. I'm glad Mark didn't kind of steal my thunder. Obviously, it's been a long time coming. Let's not beat around the bush. Today is our 10-year anniversary. So happy anniversary. Kay thought I was being sweet by proposing to her and actually getting married today, but actually I just want to save money on a card. One card would be great. I was actually slightly worried that after Mark's speech and his attempt at humour, you might have all got up and left, actually.
Thanks for staying. Folks, so they're still here, right? They're still here.
So I'd like to start my thank yous by thanking Mum and Si. Perhaps I should probably wait until Si has spoken. Yeah, I think one thing I would ask of you, Si, is can you please keep Patty and Mark away from the shots. After the stag do that we had, let's just say that the younger ones were the well behaved. And then Mark and Patty were the least behaved. The in-laws, Mark and Sally, thank you for creating such a selfless, attentive, humble and loving daughter. As you can all imagine, I've spent the last 10 years in absolute fear of Sally, but...
oh, that goes for my speech.
I'm pretty safe now. But like Mark said, what's
Still be
his
afraid.
You've been fantastic to Kay and I, and we're truly grateful for the support that you give us, and Freddie. For those who don't know who Freddie is, Freddie's our cat. I think it's fair to say, if anyone needs a cat sitter, just ask Mark. Does it very well. He does say he doesn't mind, but I think it's Sally actually making him do it so she can get a good night's sleep. I'm not sure yet. But Mark, all the furniture that's in the marquee today, Mark sorted, so thanks for your help. And thanks to Fran for helping do some repairs. Much appreciated. We have a little something for the mums, but I don't know if we've got behind us. Yes, we have.
Oh.
We have a little something for the mothers as a sign of our
Appreciation or fear.
thank yous.
Oh.
Left or right first?
Doesn't matter.
Who do I
Just
get
go
in
for
with?
it. Give it to you.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
got
a
it
second. Don't be afraid.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, love. Oh, they're lovely.
Thank you to Lisa. So Kay's best friend Lisa, I think you are also celebrating a friend anniversary.
Yeah.
Now I've never heard of such a thing, but apparently that is a thing.
10 years tomorrow.
And so they're showing their 10-year friend anniversary tomorrow. All very emotional this weekend. Kay thinks very highly of you, and thanks for arranging a cracking hen do for her. I know she was. Florence, who's meant to bring us some pizza. Hiya. Thanks for being our flower girl. You look beautiful.
Ah, she did look beautiful as well.
To Stench and Scott, sorry, Stuart, for the Stuart and Scott being groomsmen. Stench, we've been best mates for as long as I can remember, and shared some great memories. Many nights in Chicago Rock, but let's be honest, it's not just us two that's spent lots of good nights in Chicago Rock. There's lots of other people here that spend lots of different adventures to legends back in the day. Lots of nights playing Pro Evo. Again, that's a football game for anyone who doesn't know. And I still wake up now with nightmares hearing your mum saying, "Turn that bloody music down." So appreciate all the memories and thanks so much for what you've done today. Scott, so I can never explain how scared I was when I told you I was dating Kay all those years ago. It might have been 10 years ago, but actually it feels like it was yesterday. The lads who are here today, who came golfing the morning that I told you, thanks, wee boy, will remember it for as long as I do, but Kay and I are very lucky to have you in our lives, and thank you for your support since we've been together. I will look after you, my word. To Kay's second mummy, Karen, thanks for making such a beautiful bouquet for her today. Kay and I truly do cherish the time that we spent with you and Dave, and see you as really good role models, so we're lucky to have you, so thanks very much indeed. A special mention to Nigel and Trina, who are also here today. When I was in my early 20s, I went to work for a company down near Wareham, where I met Nigel, and it's fair to say for me, for my career, it's taken, thankfully, an upward trajectory, all thanks to Nigel, so thank you. Deep breath. So, a little bit about Kay and I. So, the hen, sorry, you have to bear with me, you would have heard this already. Well, the banter started on our first trip away when we went to Cardiff for the first time. As many of you know, Cardiff was a city that we fell in love with immediately. We spent a lot of time there in our early years. I picked Kay up from her house, we drove up to Bristol, and just as we entered Bristol, I asked her if she had her passport. She looked at me with absolute horror and said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know I needed my passport to get into Wales."
She actually meant it.
At that time, it was horror on her face. But by the time we got over the bridge to Cardiff, thankfully, we were seeing the funny side. So that's good. But all we had to do was set the scene for what's been 10 years of laughter. Some of you will know that I call her Pookie, P-O-O-C-Y. Well, in short, that was born after Kay and I were lying on a beach in Zante, and we saw a dog running along the beach. Kay then proceeded to spell Poochie, P-O-O-C-H-Y, in the sand with a stick, but in normal K style, she missed out the H, and hence Pookie, P-O-O-C-Y, was born. As you can all imagine, Kay and I have been to many places and achieved many things in 10 years, and in particular, several sporting events, including several half marathons, walking a 31-mile section of the coastal path in the Isle of Wight, walking a 62-mile section of the Thames Path, jumping out of a plane, bungee jumping, and that's to name just a few. But I think it's fair to say that there's probably one non-sporting achievement that will stick with me forever, and that was Kay finally being able to blow her nose at the age of 29. Yes, blow her nose. So there we were at home, January this year, Kay full of cold, and then by sheer amazement she decided she could finally blow her nose. The look on her little face resembled someone who had just conquered Everest. We've been through many things together, but we always stand tall and live life the way it should be. Love, honour, integrity and humour, surrounded by friends and family. So, a few words about the star of the show, Kay. It was beautiful, intelligent, funny, caring, and I could go on, but to be honest, I'm struggling to read her handwriting. I feel so lucky that you said yes, although I don't blame you. It was a very romantic proposal. We were sitting at home on the sofa, on my birthday, just to go over there. I was opening my birthday card from you, and then boom, proposal. Let's just say it took us both by shock, I think. Thank you for always supporting my career ambitions and for keeping me grounded and humble. I couldn't have achieved the... deep breath.
Take a breath. Keep going, keep going. Don't look, don't look. Couldn't have achieved.
I told you to go out and speak in public, didn't I? I couldn't have achieved what I've achieved without your support. During some very stressful years of working away, knowing I was coming home to you made the week bearable.
Go on, Foxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bear with.
I saw a quote recently which summed her up perfectly. If her smile takes all your stress away, believe me, she is the one. Having a baby with you has been the greatest achievement of all. I know there's a lot of people that stand there going, I got a baby.
Yes, we have.
Our cat Freddie is so loving. And I know you don't mean it when you say you love him more than me. So, I think it's been fair to say, since we got engaged about a year ago, we've been talking about how we can get the cat involved. And let's be honest, you can't have a cat at a wedding. So, it was to my absolute amazement this morning when I woke up at 7:15 and had a text from Kay saying you got a present from Freddie. Look in the third drawer. And I went, oh, okay. So in I go, thinking, bloody hell, was in the drawer or what's the crack? So forgive me if I rip the ass out of my will I do this. But I opened the drawer and unwrapped it, and then what appeared was some
Freddie sock.
Don't know about the watch then.
So,
No.
Nice to have Freddie with us today. Without fail, I think a lot of you that know Kay will know that the small things are important. And without fail, every morning at 5:30, when I go for work, Kay gets out of bed and sees me off to work with a cat in her arms. So for me, knowing how much Kay loves her bed, if that isn't a sign of how amazing she is, I don't know what is. So I'd like to propose a toast, and please be upstanding and raise your glass to my amazing wife. To Kay.
Chicken.
I'd also like to wish Mark a very happy birthday for Tuesday.
Oh. Thank you. Cheers, man.
Oh,
Who's that?
I'd like to wish Mark a very happy birthday for Tuesday when he celebrates a milestone birthday. You don't look 70, mind.
That's because I'm not 70.
Oh, you're 60. Sorry.
60, thank you.
Finally,
thank you.
For those that have seen all the quotes around our house and those that know me well, will know that I love a motivational quote. So I finished with this. Life is 10%. What happens to you?
Breathe.
And 90%, what you make it?
I'm on side. This is fine.
So, hello to everyone. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Nick's older and more attractive brother. And it's my great honour to be his best man today. A wedding is obviously a very special day, a day filled with fun and laughter, as well as a few moments of happy tears.
Oh God, he's off. Breathe.
It's a day when all those closest to them support the happy couple, and I know both Nick and Kay are delighted that you are here today. So we are here at last, and I'm sure we'd all like to thank Nick and Kay for arranging this after Black Friday. I for one hope you enjoy the discounted Bosch power drills. In thinking about how to put this together, I realised that my initial temptation to perform a comedy roast of Nicholas was tempered by the presence of our dear mother, so I couldn't be too rude or revealing his naughty behaviour. The fact that it's all getting filmed, which I was absolutely delighted to hear. We'll be able to replay this every year infinitely. So it's being filmed, and so therefore potentially viewable to his current and future employers. But primarily and most importantly, because one day the boot might be on the other foot, and he's got far more dirt on me. So this speech won't talk about his much-loved teddy bear,
when he sucked his thumb for years and years and years. Salisbury train station, taxi rides back from Salisbury, his wonky nose, or when he was younger, his love of those trolls with the brightly coloured hair. What I can and want to say is how proud I am of him.
Breathe, Si, breathe.
And to thank him for the brother he is. We were the trio that's now a duo. And obviously that means we're very close, and why today is so emotional. Brother's a headstrong character and certainly a doer. He has a varied CV, which has seen him dealing with laundry and then stationery, and even healthy chocolate, if there is such a thing. Before, as he said, landing in the industry of facilities management, you could say this is his second love behind Leeds United. Oh, sorry, I mean K. And if we thought the NHS had enough challenges, it now has Grub running a part of it. Obviously, Nick and Kay have been together for a long time. Time enough to know each other inside out and still decide to get married. There have been plenty of good times, and as long as they don't come up against each other playing board games too often, then things will be fine. As I say, it's about rivalry. Anyway. Their biggest challenge, as Nick alluded to in that 10 years, was probably near the start, and how Brub was going to tell his good mate Scotty that he was dating his little sister. As you now know, we were on a golfing holiday. The play was interrupted as Brub took a phone call, or phoned Scotty, where I'm sure the big brother chat was delivered. On the theme of time, it's funny how history repeats itself. It was 30 years ago that Sally and Mark sent their daughter to bed with a dummy, and it's happening all over again tonight. Baby children, all the napping, early mornings, farting and yearning for the breast. Kate's had 10 years practice. Well prepared. I do have a small gift for Bruv. It's a book entitled How to Be a Good Husband. And I just sort of opened the first page and read the first part, and I thought this is quite sensible advice. It says, don't lose sight of the fact that once a man is married, the only sensible thing for him to do is to make best of the circumstances. If his wife has faults, he should try and shut his eyes to them. It may be that he's not entirely perfect. So, there you go. So here we are today to celebrate the love between Nick and Kay. So I thought it'd be nice to think about what love means to us all. So what is love? Love is unblocking the plug hole of long hair and arguing that it's not mine. Love is accepting your partner's recently grown moustache.
Hey! Where's Rude Boy?
Every morning. Love is supporting the ambition to complete an Ironman. Love is accepting football in all its guises. Love is carrying all those shopping bags of clothes. Love is, for some, Freddy the cat. But for everyone, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails.
And on that sentiment, and that's the end of me, it remains for me to wish you both a long and happy life together, good health, and all the luck in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom.
Bride and groom.